What's happening, everybody? Welcome to video number 2. If you guys haven't checked out my last video, you guys should go ahead and check that out and let me know what you think of it in the comments below. The book that I used for the last one is called Don't Believe Everything You Think by Joseph Nguyen. That's going to be the same book that I'm using for us today. And the quote that I have from the book today is, "We can either choose to be free and happy in the unknown or to be confined in the unknown." So now the way I'm taking this quote is, let's see the first half. We can either choose to be free and happy in the unknown. For me, that means we can either face our fears by going into the unknown and accepting the challenges and hardships that may come, or for the second part of it, or to be confined in the unknown, which I take as, or we can be stuck in the same place, going through the motions, feeling the same things, like being stuck in a loop. So for that first half of, we can either choose to be free and happy in the unknown, that for me is like leaving your comfort zone. That's for me going out, like generally when we think of the unknown, it has a very negative connotation with it. It's always a lot of negative thoughts, emotions, and feelings that come from just someone mentioning the unknown or from us thinking about the unknown. But when you stay away from the unknown, you don't leave your comfort zone, you just stay comfortable. You're always on the couch, always in your bed, always just in your comfort area. It's gonna be like life is stuck on the same loop. You're doing the same things over and over again and expecting for different outcomes to happen. And it can't work that way. While you're in the unknown, while you're leaving your comfort zone and getting more and more out there, opening the door to possibilities, you allow yourself to see a lot of different things. You allow yourself to have a lot of different experiences, and you can learn a lot of new stuff on the way. By avoiding the unknown, by avoiding leaving your comfort zone, you close yourself off from any and all of these new possibilities. And all these new possibilities that could come from going into the unknown, from leaving your comfort zone, they don't have to be negative. Just because our thoughts and our emotions, that when we think about the unknown, those can be negative, doesn't mean what happens actually has to be negative. A lot of the time, your mind's gonna play tricks on you. Your mind is in like survival mode. It's gonna do what it needs to protect you. So if it doesn't know what's behind a certain door, it's gonna do what it can to prevent you from going through that door, from having every possible negative outcome happen in your mind, so you don't go through that negative door, or what your mind thinks is a negative door. For all you know, it could be a very positive thing. Like, let's look at kids, for example. Everything in the world for them, pretty much everything in the world for a kid is an unknown. For them to learn, to progress, to do anything, they have to leave their comfort zone and go into that unknown area and just kind of embrace it and take it as it comes. When a kid is going to school, they have to be in the unknown to have the possibility, the benefit of making friends, of learning and growing as a person. If a kid is riding a bike, we always have those fears of, can I keep myself upright? Am I gonna fall? What if I can't stop? What if I'm not able to turn in the right time? Anything could happen while you're riding a bike, especially in the beginning. If a kid goes down a hill, they go down the hill faster. What if they can't stop it then? What if their car comes out of nowhere and hits them? There's a lot that can happen, like it gets harder to stop if you go down a hill, easier to fall off, harder to balance, all these things. But the kid has to leave their comfort zone and go ahead and try it. And if they go ahead and try it and they go ahead and they do good, they say if at first you don't succeed, try again. If they don't get confined by the unknown, they don't get confined by the what ifs, by leaving their comfort zone, they're able to have the feeling of happiness come over them when they do finish that bike ride, when they are able to stop in time. It's just like a proud feeling you have of yourself, and then another thing they gain is confidence by being able to do that. If you succeed at one thing, it's similar to just getting the ball rolling. You want to put it into something else. Kids never doubt that they can do anything. If you ask a kid if they can do this, if they can do that, if they're going to make it here or make it there, kids are always like, hell yeah, I got this, I got it. Until they fail, that's when the real challenge comes of, are they going to get back up and go back out there? Or is this going to be a kid that lets that one failure hold them back? You don't want to be like that kid who lets the failure hold them back, because all you're doing is hurting your own self with that. Same thing when a kid is trying to tie their shoes. Let's say a kid is out on the playground at recess, playing with his friends. If they're playing tag, they're playing basketball, football, whatever, a sport that involves, or an activity that involves running, there's a chance that their shoes could get untied. Now, the kid who knows how to tie their shoes, he's just gonna go ahead, kneel down, tie his shoes, get back to playing with everybody. The other kid, he's gonna have to find an adult or some type of chaperone, someone that could help him and be like, hey man, can you tie my shoes for me? And he's out of commission until that person can go ahead, tie their shoes, and I'll let them go play again. A lot of kids won't even really care about their shoes being untied, but similar to them maybe falling off a bike, if a kid's running around with his shoes untied, that first time that he face plants from tripping on his own shoe, you know next time he's not going to go ahead and just run around with the shoe untied. The second his shoe gets untied, he's going to be like, yo, I got to find somebody, they need to help me. If the kid was able to tie their own shoes, they could just immediately do what they need to do and move on, you know? So like, I know for me, specifically when it came to tying shoes, I used to always be afraid of doing it as a kid or learning it as a kid with the doubt that, you know, if I do it in front of other people and I mess up, I'm gonna get made fun of or this and that. So I always wore shoes with little zippers on it. It wasn't until like 3rd grade when I was playing basketball in gym where my teacher said we need shoes with laces or you can't play. You can't play with shoes with zippers because of the fear that the shoe could just slip off mid-game and the kid would get hurt. So like you see, like if you don't go into the unknown, until I didn't finally embrace it, I never got a chance to play basketball. If I never embraced it, I would never play basketball, and basketball is like one of the things that I love now on. I play it almost every week. So it's like, don't be afraid to embrace the unknown. Don't be afraid to leave your comfort zone. Do what you gotta do, you know? And it's actually very similar for adults. By going into the unknown, whatever that may be for you, a new job, a new career, buying a new car, starting a new relationship, moving, starting a new family, whatever it may be, by taking some action and getting the ball rolling, you open doors for all the possible outcomes and many more. There's so many possibilities of things that could happen just by you taking that first step. But if you never take that first step, you're never even giving you're giving yourself a chance to go through the doors of all these possibilities. You could think of your fears as kind of like weaknesses or areas where you lack experience. If you go towards your fears and you embrace the unknown and get the experience you need to turn those weaknesses into strengths, then on the other end, you will reap the rewards of all the time, the effort, the energy, all the work that you put in. When you embrace your fears, embrace the unknown, and leave your comfort zone, all it's going to do is benefit you at the end of the day, because now you're learning, you're gaining experience, and something that used to scare you, something that used to deter you or hold you back before, it doesn't do that anymore. Now if you want to look at it in this way, you're pretty much stronger than you were before by embracing this new challenge. One of the ways that I've implemented this thinking is by not waiting for the right time to do things. Generally, I'm the type of guy who I'm gonna be like, oh, I gotta wait for that right moment to make this move. I gotta wait for that right moment to do this. I gotta wait for the right moment at the right time to go and do that. And, you know, majority of the time, there is no right time to do anything. Not even majority, like I would say 90%, which is majority, but like, you know what I'm trying to say, like a very high majority. It's almost never a right time to do anything. For example, with me and this YouTube channel that you guys are watching on now, I've been wanting to do it for years. I would say at least like the last 5 years. But every time I would try little bits of like putting something out on Instagram, on Snapchat, or even a YouTube video back in the day, there would always be somebody that would leave a negative, nasty comment, and that would consume me. But I wouldn't pay attention to all the positive things that are happening. All my friends who are saying they like the videos, all the people that would come up to me in the gym and be like, oh, can you make a video on this? Can you make a video on that? Can you do, and people still come up to me nowadays and they're like, oh, why don't you stop making videos on that? Can you bring that back? It used to help me, or, you know, I could see you doing something in this space. And it's like, don't be afraid of that negative. Just because that one negative person left a comment, it opened the door for me of thinking like, oh, these people are going to say this, so many people are going to say that, people are going to run with what he's saying. And, you know, I didn't pay attention, like I said, I didn't pay attention to any of the positives that came from it. One of the positives that came from it is I used to tag a lot of the fitness influencers I would watch back in the day, and eventually I would post almost daily, and I would tag those people in all the time. Then one day, one of those people, Matt Ogus, he liked one of my posts. Another day, Christian Guzman liked one of my posts. Then Max Tuning liked one of my posts. And little by little, my posts started getting traction. But the fear of having more of those negative people come in and leave their comments and all that, that's what always held me back. And don't be like me, be better than me. keeps those doors open for you, keep those doors, possibilities of new experiences open for you, and it's only going to help you in the future. If I had started this channel like 5 years ago and took it seriously then and just kept it going every single day, little by little, month by month, you know, just making some progress instead of completely getting away from it, man, I would be a lot farther along than where I am now, you know? So like, don't be afraid to take some action. Every action that you take, it makes those doors creep open a little more and more, and that's just bringing more and more benefit to your life, more and more possibilities for you. And, you know, when you do take action, as you get used to taking action, it's only going to get easier from there. It's going to be less of a fear, it's going to be less of a hardship, less of a burden, and it's just going to become like a habit. It's going to become an instinct for you, which is what you want.